Hi, I'm Ros Cardinal, creator of the Women's Leader Archetypes and host of the Archetype Effect podcast. Welcome to this video explainer, how the Women's Leader Archetypes work. This video is about orientation, not self-analysis. If the podcast helped you feel seen, this will help you see the structure. We're looking at the whole system, not individual archetypes in isolation. And you don't need to remember everything. This is a reference map. Now, this is a system, not a set of types. It's not a personality model. You don't get to pick an archetype and you don't become one. Archetypes describe how leadership energy moves through you, and the system matters more than any single part. Now, to start off with, the key thing to look at here is the vertical structure. It's important, but not in a moral way, because higher doesn't mean better and lower doesn't mean you're broken. The hierarchy is reflecting capacity and safety, not our worth or our competence. Now, the horizontal line is one of the most important parts of the model. When we look at what sits above the line, we're talking about empowered leadership states, and below the line are protective leadership states. What moves us up and down is not character, it's perceived safety. The line's not about effort, it's about conditions. If things are going really well for you, it's quite easy to be above the line. If you're struggling even a little bit, and it doesn't need to be big things in your life, it might just be you're overtired, you didn't sleep well last night, maybe you had a bad commute to work. And those things are the things that can push us into the need for safety, which moves us into the bottom half of the diamond. So let's start with the sovereign, who's at the top of the diamond. She's at the apex because she represents authorship. That's the part of you that decides what matters. She holds vision, direction, legitimacy, and it's not about dominance, it's inner authority. Some of the things that people often get confused is that the sovereign is about control or the sovereign is about ego. It's certainly not. The sovereign is this space of being empowered and being completely self-actualized, being comfortable in who we are, in our own skin. We live to values, we live to purpose, and we're very much in control of our own destiny. And then below the sovereign are the three expressions of leadership. They're not supporting roles or secondary archetypes. They are full expressions of leadership power. The sovereign doesn't act alone. Power expresses through these three. The warrior expresses power through action and protection. The wise woman expresses her power through insight and meaning. And the tribe builder expresses power through connection and cohesion. Different leaders for different moments activate these things differently. So above the line is our empowered leadership. Above the line, power is expressed freely. Authority doesn't need to be defended. Action doesn't need to be forced. Insight doesn't need to be guarded. And connection doesn't require us to lose ourselves. Now, when our safety is threatened, energy moves down. Leadership doesn't disappear under pressure, it reorganises. The same energy moves into protection, and that's intelligent, it's not flawed. When safety drops, leadership energy moves down the diamond. Let's look now at the protective leadership states. These are not bad archetypes, they're protective responses, and each one mirrors one of the empowered archetypes, the one above it. The warrior moves to the tyrant, which is control through action. The wise woman moves to the lone wolf, controlling through knowledge. The tribe builder moves to the martyr, controlling through appeasing and people-pleasing. Same power and different job. And then the hermit sits at the base because this really is about becoming frozen. Authority collapses inward. It's not rest, it's overwhelm. The system is protecting itself by withdrawing. It's not laziness or avoidance. The sovereign and the hermit sit on the same vertical line because both relate to authority. One's expressing it, one's protecting it. Movement depends on safety, not confidence. It's important to recognise we move up and down the diamond all the time. Different contexts activate different responses. You're not necessarily stuck anywhere. This is moment by moment. It's not your identity. So, for example, people might be maybe a hermit at work. It might be warrior at home, lone wolf in certain rooms. It's not about being fixed. People can move around the diamond minute by minute, moment by moment even. But integration means that you can move back up. Integration doesn't mean eliminating shadow. It means restoring safety. When your safety returns, power rises naturally. You don't force your way back up the diamond. Shadow softens when it no longer has to protect you. Wholeness is about range, not performance, because sovereign is not a permanent state and shadow is not failure. Leadership maturity is about range and flexibility, and wholeness is access, not perfection. So we use this map to orient, not to judge. The questions to ask yourself are, where am I right now? What's being protected? What will restore safety? And as we move through the rest of the podcast season, you can come back to this diagram anytime if you want to reorient yourself to the different archetypes.